A big part of my job has to do with communication. I communicate with internal and external customers. I also communicate with attorneys' offices, and I also communicate with relationship managers regarding loans or payoffs or the such. With regard to communications on the scale, I give myself a 4 because although I'm good at communication with people in general, I'm not very good with public speaking or giving presentations. So that is something that I need to work on. And I think that a good way for me to do that is to take advantage of opportunities where I might have to do a presentation or give a presentation in front of my team members or in front of others within the bank. With regard to critical thinking, I would give myself a 4. In my position, I would have to do a lot of independent work and make decisions on my own. There are certain topics that I would, or certain tasks, I should say, that I shouldn't have to bother the lender with, that I should be able to make on my own, and they expect that. But there are those certain few who would rather that we go to them all the time. But so that's why I give myself a 4, because there are certain times that I'm not afraid, but just a little nervous going to these people, because since I'm so new, they're not really sure if I can handle the job, if I can make the right decisions. In the future, in order to maybe help them understand better, I can bring them suggestions so that they can see that I have the best interest of the customer, the best interest of the situation at hand, and that I'm only thinking of ways to solve the problem and not necessarily make it worse. When it comes to leadership, I would put myself as 4 on the scale. I try to be a good leader every day that I walk into the office. Even though I've only been with the bank for 2 years, I try to help others wherever I can, especially those that came in after me. If there's a task to be done or a project that needs work on, I will definitely volunteer. The reason I gave myself a 4 is that there are some times that I just don't want to volunteer for a project. I just have too much on my plate and I just don't want to do it. Or I just don't want to help. I try to ignore the situation so I don't have to help out, and I just let somebody pick it up. And I know that's not the best way to do it, but there are just those days. Ways that I can be a better leader is I can take on those people that maybe need a little bit of help, those ideas that I don't want to help with, or I could take on the projects maybe, or volunteer for bigger projects or a little bit tougher projects. Let my manager know that I'm always there to help her out. When it comes to positive attitude, I tend to give myself something between a 3 and a 4. When I walk into work, I always try to be positive and love my job, but there are those times where you just bluntly don't want to. You have the person in your office that you don't want to have to listen to, the person in the office that is a difficult person to deal with. And there are just those days where I might not be as positive, where I might need to walk away and just take a breath and come back to my desk. And I know that I recently read an article in one of my classes that actually talked about working with difficult people. And I've actually been able to learn a few things on maybe putting some distance, not trying to change them. And I could also work with my manager to ask for some help if someone is trying to throw a project at me that I don't have time for and that they're just looking to have someone else do to get credit. When it comes to teamwork, I would give myself, again, a 3 to a 4. Although I don't mind working in a team, it's good to work with a group of people. You can share the responsibility, take on different roles, come together. There are times when I just feel better working independently. I know what I have to do. I can break up the task. I can schedule what I need when I need it, and I can get it done sometimes much quicker. Working in a team can be difficult because sometimes there are those people who just work in their own schedule and they don't always want to get things done. I guess if I was in a structured team, maybe that could take the rules and the roles and follow them and understand the rules as well, that there's a schedule and needs to come back, then it would be a lot easier to work as a team. With regard to a team such as the department I work at, then yes, we all have different ways of doing things, but in some respect, they can get done quickly. With regard to work ethic, I give myself a 5. I am a stickler for work ethic. I like to get things done the correct way. I don't like to cut corners. Working at a bank, you have to be very careful with giving out customer information, and I not that I'm paranoid, but I'm just very adamant that I give out the correct information to the right people and I follow the rules. Annually, we have ethics training, and I always ensure that I read through the ethics training just to make sure that there aren't any new rules, that I haven't missed anything, that I know what I need to focus on and make sure that that information doesn't get out, because I know the repercussions are I could lose my job, the bank's reputation can be ruined, and the customer's information is out there for anybody to pick up. One of the additional tasks that I added to my list is my listening skills. I give myself a 4. When it comes to listening, especially to customers, I try to always focus on them and make sure that I know what they need, I know what the problem is, and I know how to solve it. And there are times when I don't know how to solve it, so I will explain to the customer that I will just need a little bit more time. And as long as I'm patient and empathetic, they understand, and I give them a specific time frame that I'll give them a call back. And if I don't have the answer, I'll still call them back and let them know that I'm still working on it. The second skill that I've added to my list is time management, and I give that a 4. Although I try very hard to get my work done in a timely manner, there are those times where you can't. The things that I do to help myself out is I try to make myself a to-do list, because I have a schedule and I like to get things done when they need to get done. When I have a task that somebody gives me, I always ask them when they need it done by. And then if they need it done sooner, I look through my to-do list and I try to put it in a spot where I can get task A done up to a certain point, and then I can get their task done, and then I can go back to task A. And I use my calendar, my Microsoft calendar as well. That way I know what's coming up and I'm not trying to forget about it.